Alright guys, we're finally going to talk about Battlefront 3. One game that I have been wanting to talk about very much, and my impressions on it. We're still going over E3 because, to be honest, I still miss E3. You know, I love E3, I love it every time it comes around, and usually I can't stop talking about it for like a month after it's finished, or even 2 months in one case. I think that was back in E3 of 2010, E3 of 2010. I just couldn't stop talking about it or thinking about it for 2 months. So anyway, Battlefront 3. Now, obviously, if you haven't realised by now, this game is being made by DICE, who have been bought out by EA. So effectively, this is EA making a Star Wars version of Battlefield, and I'm not even joking. There's so much comparisons. There's so much in terms of comparisons I can make to Battlefront 3. The moment the demo started up at E3, I could just get the sense of, oh, it's heavily inspired, if not essentially reskinned Battlefront. See, that's the problem. I'm gonna get those two titles confused a lot because to me they sound too similar. Battlefield, Battlefront, I've been all over the place with that, so I'm probably gonna be all over the place here. So anyway, Battlefront. Now obviously Battlefront, as if you haven't played it, is quite a sick game. Now, it was on the PlayStation 2, it was on the PSP, I believe it was on the Xbox, the original Xbox, and even on the 360. But I never remember it being on PlayStation. And I don't think there was net play. I don't remember playing online on Battlefront. I only remember playing sort of against AI, where you could set the difficulty to 2 settings on the PSP version. I remember the PSP difficulty settings, it was Imperial, and it was, Christ, I forget the other one. The problem is I can't go on the PSP and check. Anyway, I never really sort of seemed to playing online on Battlefront. I don't remember there being an online Battlefront. Now obviously with next gen consoles, it's more likely that there's going to be an online mode. What I'm concerned about is player size, lobby sizes. What are they going to go for? Are they just going to completely sort of take the whole 64 player lobby from DICE in terms of a large conquest mode or multiple objective mode where you have to capture multiple objectives and hold them, and then for a game mode similar if not perfectly identical to Rush, reduce the lobby size back down to 32 players, so half of a conquest lobby? Or are they just going to keep this policy of one lobby size for all games? So what Call of Duty do, they just do 12 players for all game modes. There's no game modes where it's less than 12 players max, it's always 12 players max. I just wonder what they're going to do. I'm not sure what they're going to do in terms of lobby sizes if they decide to make this multiplayer, but it's going to be interesting, because what I often found is games first person shooters that tend to have smaller lobby sizes often have less glitches. I'll give you a perfect example. Now obviously you have to take into consideration that both these games have been patched to hell, and they're both from the Battlefield franchise. Battlefield Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3. Now Battlefield 3 only on PC, that's why I'm going to do the PC comparison. Only on PC could the lobbies in Conquest go up to 64 players, and then for the rest it was 16, and then I think a couple of modded servers or very altered servers that people put out allowed rush matches to go to stupid amounts, to hold stupid amounts of people. And then Battlefield Bad Company 2, its max was only 32 if I last remember. I've definitely played in lobbies where it's 16 versus 16 on Battlefield 2, not Battlefield 2, that's 64, on Battlefield Bad Company 2, and I don't know why, it just seemed to run better. I didn't seem to encounter as many glitches. Now I've got the bare bones version, I haven't got any DLC with that game. Now usually DLC brings in patches, and basically I've only got the basic patches, and the game runs almost perfectly if it were not for my crappy laptop. But Battlefield 3, in the PS3 version, which I've played, I spent a very small bit of time actually playing the PC version, but the PlayStation 3 version, that's just got quite a lot of graphical glitches and bugs. The reason I bring up lobby size is the point I was trying to make is this. I think I have this theory of the larger you make a match, or the larger you make a lobby in a match, obviously the game and the servers have to cope with more players. Now obviously dedicated servers are much better than doing this than host-based servers, but still dedicated servers have to deal with so many players and so many different interactions going on at once that obviously glitches can arise. So we'll just have to wait and see what the lobby sizes for Battlefront 3 are, and whether the servers, whether they make them dedicated, which I'm hoping they do, because come on, it's DICE. If they don't make dedicated servers for Battlefront, that would be the stupidest idea ever. But anyway, when they make dedicated servers for Battlefront 3, it would just be a test to see, you know, can DICE servers actually hold quite a sizable amount of players, or does the amount of players or the size of the lobby actually need to be reduced for the server to better handle these players and for less glitches to arise? I don't know, that's just a theory I have. Now, continuing on with this idea that everything's that DICE are being heavily inspired by Battlefield 4 to be precise. Are they gonna bring in Revolution events? But how are they gonna try and incorporate it into Star Wars canon? Now, believe it or not, I did used to be a huge Star Wars fan as a child, a huge Star Wars fan. You know, I got the toy lightsabers, I got a couple of games on the Wii, I got Star Wars Force Unleashed 2 on PS3, I got all the DVDs, I got Legos, blah blah blah. I was quite a Star Wars nuts in my day. So obviously, Battlefield 4, one of the biggest features of that game that DICE added into Battlefield 4, and subsequently Battlefield Hardline, although that was Sledgehammer Games that took upon this idea, was Revolution. It would be a big set piece event that either a player could trigger, or a group of players could trigger, or that would automatically happen in a match, such as, you know, Gulf of Oman 2014, a massive sandstorm coming. Like, how they do it? Will they do a similar sort of thing for Half, like a massive snowstorm comes in on Half, like in episode 5, and you know, it essentially makes everything a blur, just like you're seeing white? And will they, like, for Half, no, not Half, in fact maybe for Half, maybe could you like set up, you know, the big beam that fires up, or I don't know, maybe for like Endor, could you actually bring down trees in the forest, or better yet, for planets like, I think it's called Mustafa, I think it's called that, it's like where Obi-Wan and Anakin have that big final battle at the end of episode 3, can you actually have it that you can essentially tamper with whatever the controls are so that lava gets thrown up onto the map and it actually melts away at the map, you know, blocking pathways, you know, forcing teams and squads down into different alleys. That could be sick if done right. However, I feel that because this is EA rushing the game out, I don't think they would have done the Levolution right if they've added it in, which will be a huge shame because they should have just got the Star Wars community together, just like got hardcore fans and hardcore nerds of this franchise together and say, okay, we're creating a multiplayer game, we're going to add in a feature called Levolution where interactive events will happen in the map. Give us the planet names, give us like the description of the planets and work with us to design these Levolution events. That would have been a sicker idea. And finally, one other gripe I kind of have. Well, one gripe I kind of had, but at the same time I understood why, you know, the design needed to be like this in Battlefront 2 was on certain maps it would be the rebels fighting the Empire because it just made sense in the lore, like, and then on other maps it would be, you know, the droids versus the clones, the clone army, which made sense. But then on certain maps you could literally pick and select which side you wanted to fight, which two sides you want to fight. What I want to see is more interactivity. You know, I'd actually like to see the rebel army going up against the clone army. I'd like to see the droids go up against the stormtroopers. I'd like to see the stormtroopers go up against the clones, although that would be a huge cluster because everyone would pretty much be in white and they'd look quite similar, so it'd just be a huge mess on the battlefield. So I'd love to see how they do that. But if they can allow you to sort of pick sides, or if maps will allow you to play as any different side and it just keeps rotating them so you can have different combinations. But then one final aspect of Battlefront that made the game what it is was being able to play as sort of heroes or characters from the lore. So, like, if you're the rebel army on certain maps, you could play as Han Solo, and then on other maps you could play as Luke Skywalker. If you're playing as the Empire, unlike Cloud City, you could play as Boba Fett and just fly around with a jetpack. On other maps, you know, you could be Darth Vader, you could just slowly walk around the map, force choking people. Now, obviously, they had to bring that feature back into this game because that is such a staple feature of the game. It is quite a staple feature. It's like a selling point for Star Wars fans. It's like, okay, yes, it's a shooter game, but you know, if you get X number of points, or if you're going quite a streak or whatever, you can play as Darth Vader. As long as you keep getting kills, you could just keep slashing your way down as Darth Vader and being an overpowered. Now, they've said they've tried to balance this whole aspect of the game. I want to see how they do that, but I hope they haven't turned it into like a kill streak kind of thing. Oh, get X number of kills, and then you could play as this hero. I want to see them do it right. Like, make it a challenge for us to unlock the ability to play these heroes, but then don't make it too impossible that we can't reach it. But then don't make it like a gimmick, like a kill streak. Anyway. Now, next video I want to be talking about Need for Speed, the new Need for Speed game, because I'm quite a racing nut, and I'm downloading another game on PlayStation Plus, so I'll tell you about it in that video. But anyway.